Hey guys, hope you're doing well. We had a great discussion this past Wednesday. I hope you learned a lot out of that 3 hours we had together. So you're starting to get a feel for how the class is going to flow. Each week we cover a different theory. Next week we're on to self-determination theory. So this is very much an overview course. If there is a theory that you're attracted to and you want to learn more about it, please do 100% dive into it deeper. You've got some seminal citations in the Connor and Norman text. Go grab those citations and read up on it. Please do. We're not doing that in this class, right? This is an overview class, and my main purpose, as you recall, is to get you to think about talking about a health issue using theoretical constructs. And we're doing that by practicing those conversations using different theories, right? So next week, self-determination theory. That said, it looks like you guys really were thoughtful and got a lot out of this past week's conversation. So yay for that. We spent a lot of time on fear-based messaging, and that was really what I wanted to kind of like borrow the PMT construct conversation, was to talk about fear-based messaging. Personally, I try not to do fear-based messaging. I'm just not a fan of it, to be honest with you guys. If you are going to use it, in my opinion, you only use it when it is a short-term behavior that you're wanting someone to change, and when the action that you want people to take is easy to do. Very few, if no barriers at all, very low threshold to do the task, right? So for example, get a vaccine, prevent getting ill from COVID. Very feasible, easy to do, assuming the vaccine is widely available and at free or very low cost, right? So it's used for something like that. I would be loath to use it for any chronic or long-term behaviors. They used it in the Montana Meth Project. The idea, they used fear-based messaging because they didn't want kids to ever try something. I don't think that was the best approach, I'll be honest with you, but that was just my opinion. There are articles that show they found a good effect. I would have used a different approach. So that's my comment on fear-based messaging. I'm glad you guys found the conversation interesting and useful. I encourage those of you, especially those of you who have an interest in health comm, dig in more to fear-based messaging research and really try to understand it. There were a couple of comments around constructs, and I had created some confusion at the beginning of the class with my effort of helping you guys try to see commonalities of the constructs between theories. I kind of got us into the weeds before we saw the forest, right? And I apologize for that. I'll be more mindful of that next week. In so doing, though, I do want to go back and clarify a couple of things. So number one, this intrinsic and extrinsic rewards. Broadly speaking, intrinsic rewards are internal to us. Those are our internal motivations. Extrinsic rewards are outside of us. So when someone gives me money for performing a behavior, that's an extrinsic reward. When I do a behavior because it's just something within me that I want to do, that's an intrinsic, and when I do it, I just feel better about myself, that's an intrinsic reward. So I had suggested to you that intrinsic and extrinsic rewards could be similar to the perceived benefits construct and the health belief model. And perhaps I shouldn't have done that, to be really transparent, because I think I created some confusion for you guys. In the health belief model, when we talk about perceived benefits, we're talking about the perceived benefit of doing a health behavior. Here, when we talk about intrinsic and extrinsic rewards, we're talking about the intrinsic and extrinsic rewards of doing a maladaptive behavior. So not a health-affirming behavior, right? So what are the rewards of continuing to smoke or not getting vaccinated? Those are the rewards that we're talking about here with the maladaptive response. The second construct that people asked questions about had to do with response efficacy versus self-efficacy. And how are those in the health belief model? Self-efficacy was added to the health belief model. Generally speaking, when we talk about self-efficacy, we're talking about how confident am I to do something, right? How confident am I that I can go get a vaccine to prevent COVID, right? Outcome expectations or response efficacy, they're synonyms in this case, I suggested. Those are not a part of health belief model. So I only brought forward the idea that response efficacy is similar to outcome expectations because many of you know that construct from your master's program. For those of you who don't know outcome expectations, you will soon enough. Basically, self-efficacy and outcome expectations were two of the big contributions of social cognitive theory that we're going to study in a few weeks. So if you're not totally familiar with outcome expectations, don't worry too much about it. Whether we're talking about outcome expectations or, in this case, a synonym response efficacy, what we mean is the outcome that I expect to happen if I do the behavior. So if I go and get a vaccine, I expect that I'm not going to get COVID, right? Or I'm going to expect that I'm not going to get that sick if I do get COVID. So that's the outcome expectation or response efficacy. Different than self-efficacy. Self-efficacy is how confident am I that I can do the given behavior? How confident am I that I can get the vaccine? I hope that helps. This coming Monday at 8:50 a.m. is the due date for the health belief model paper. If you're going to submit that paper, please remember that you do need to have peer review. If you have questions about what that looks like, please refer back to weeks 1 and 3. Have a great day, guys, and I'll see you in a week.